Hi, I'm Tadessa Johnson-Williams. I am Vice President of Human Resources with ZT and Altus Community Health. It's Women's Awareness Month, and this is my story.
So since it's Women's Awareness Month, we are wanting to celebrate all the achievements of women this month and just, get inspiration from you, Tadessa. So tell everybody that's watching, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Well, as mentioned, I'm the Vice President of Human Resources here at this organization. I've been here for well over 10 years. I've been an HR professional for well over 20 years. I started out in HR consulting, working for outsourcing companies. I would consult with small to mid-sized businesses to partner them with the services and software that HR outsourcers provide. And that incidentally is how I met the leadership of this great organization, Tasir Badar and Craig Kilo. Back when the company had one surgery center and 60 employees down the street here on San Felipe in Houston, Texas. And then I became their HR consultant and partnered them with a couple of outsourcers. And one day the stars aligned and the mist came up and they said, hey, come in and develop an HR department internally for us. And at the time, I believe the organization had just around maybe 500 employees. And 3 months later, we had 1,200.
What would you say the number one thing would be that inspired you to pursue this career? What pushed you in this direction?
I actually kind of fell into it or evolved into it. I was managing actually enterprise rent-a-cars, enterprise leasing centers. And I managed 2 of them and kind of phased out of that and fell into this HR outsourcing career very blindly. And as I developed as a consultant and became successful at it, as a tertiary consultant, right? So just being somebody who could basically sell you something. And then decided that I needed to be more of an expert, a subject matter expert in what I was consulting on. So I finished my bachelor's degree in marketing and then went on to obtain an MBA with a concentration in global HR and then MMHR as well. So, and a PHR. So just to become a subject matter expert. So I kind of just evolved into it. I wasn't seeking to be an HR professional. I really was trying to find another job than the one that I had.
So Tadessa, what is some of the biggest challenges you faced in your career or even your biggest challenge? I know you've seen a lot of stuff, but if you had to pick one, what would be your biggest decision challenge you've had to do while in your HR career?
I think as an HR professional, the biggest challenge is always buying in. Either on multiple levels. Some HR professionals are challenged with buy-in and a seat at the table with the C-suite. Some are challenged with matriculating the C-suite message down to management and the employees that run the organization and that work for the organization. So I think that's always the biggest challenge for an HR professional is just buy-in. If you could get collective buy-in, well, that's great, but that typically does not happen. So that's always the ebb and flow. Then the pull is just buy-in.
So Tadessa, what do you think is the most important factor for success for women in the workforce today?
I believe that you need to come with your tool belt packed. You need to come armed, ready, and educated. We ask for a seat at the table. Sometimes we demand it, and it's imperative that when we come, that we are the subject matter experts and that we can demonstrate that we, know what we're talking about, that we're knowledgeable about what we are supposed to be, leading or giving leadership to or supporting within the organization. So whenever you can learn, so for example, the mindset of, well, that's not my job or that's not in my wheelhouse. I think it's, very important when you have the opportunity to, grasp those little tools and put them in your tool belt. It only makes you a more valuable, resource to your organization or whatever you're supporting. So come ready, get that tool belt full and be locked and loaded.
So Tadessa, how do you think we can make the workplace more inclusive for women that work here?
I think that as a society, we've gotten better, obviously, at including women in the workforce and understanding the value that we bring on different levels. So I think that to make it better or more inclusive is to understand the full gamut of womanhood, which means that there's womanly oversight that is given, or motherly oversight, or however you like to look at it, to many different aspects of our lives. And so the workplace should not make it hard for women to then give, leeway or attend to those other aspects of their lives. And in fact, if we allow women that balance elsewhere, then it makes the workplace even better. We're great multitaskers. So we know how to take care of children and family and our duties at work. And, so I think that workplaces that are more in tune with, flexibility and understanding, for example, elongated maternity leave, or flexible work schedules and things like that, and also obviously complying with FMLA when and if is the case. But beyond that, because that's the law making us do that. But companies that have the foresight to be proactive with that balance, I think is how we could really be inclusive of women in the workplace.
So Tadessa, what is some tips that we can give to women that are watching right now to help them get involved and maybe even find ways to break into the field that you work in?
Well, it goes back to one of the questions we answered earlier. You have to be locked, loaded, ready, and educated about HR. HR is a full application, and obviously it's going to be nuanced by the industry that you're servicing. But because it's governed by law, it's broad, right? It's broadly applicative. There is no hospital HR or no dealership HR or no engineering HR. HR is broad, and then as the professional, right, you need to learn the industry that you're servicing. But first and foremost, be as educated as you can about human resources. Know the basics. All of your federal laws, state laws are going to be different depending on where you live or work. Be certified, be affiliated with professional associations and things like that. And, just to be objective as an HR professional, leave personal biases and things like that to the side. You can have those when you're at home in your kitchen, but as an HR professional, you want to be able to be open and available to everyone.
How do you think women can be better allies in the workplace, with professional settings?
Well, I think we're, underrated as allies. I think in general, we're great allies in the workplace because, again, I believe in, just the aspect of what women have to do in general in life and the role that we play. But I think we can be better allies to each other. And not be put in the position to compete with each other. When we're working together, understand, what the next lady's strength is, maybe where, you can improve a little bit, and just kind of feed off of each other and learn from each other and, leave competition out of the door at work and help each other. Because if I'm successful, then you're successful. If the next female who works with me is successful, then I'm successful. So I think that makes for a better workplace when we all work together.
So Tadessa, last question for you. What is words of wisdom? If you could give one tip to all these women watching out there for Women's Awareness Month, what would your one tip be to help them?
Protect your balance. Protect your peace as an individual and as a worker within your organization. Whatever that means. A lot of times women are, again, the caretakers and the people who get down into the trenches. And sometimes we need to take a step back and take time for ourselves so that we can be better at what we do here at work or what you do at home or in auxiliaries elsewhere. So please, 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 take time for yourself. It doesn't have to be, 2 weeks. It can be a couple of hours where you just steal away and have a cup of tea and maybe a muffin, or maybe read a page or two out of a book. Or, the employers get mad when they see you do that. You shouldn't. You shouldn't, employers. It's a tip for employers. You shouldn't. People need time to steal away, refresh, restart, so that they can be better employees.